What's up? Hey guys, I'm getting it together right now. I'm about to be over there. I just had something short that just happened real quick, and I had to take care of it. You know, I work a full-time job while I'm doing this too, so. Come on, let's go. Still forever. It ain't. But I'm still holy. But I'm still holy. And I'm still holy. And I'm still holy in the light. The stuff got right. Ain't no. I'm still forever. Woo! Yeah, for real. For real. For real. Mm, come on. What's up? Hmm. Man, my God, for real. Real talk. Yeah, of course. Man, I got hooked on that no for real. Yo, run that thing back to this cat. No big deal. Hold on, let me get that. This is a joint. This is a joint. No big deal. Testing. Let me know if you hear me out there. If anybody listening, let me know if you hear me. Let me know you hear me. Just drop a chat in there. Welcome to the next Real Estate Lunchbox. Your boys Leon, D Duncan. Man, I was working, then I had to hurry up and get this going. I had a bunch of stories lined up for you guys today. Mmm. Mmm. Ooh, somebody on that. Come on. Mm, mm. Him only. Hey, okay. Box on my face. Pace. Wait.
Congratulations, well done.
Woo! Right now. Right now. Oh, your way, your way. Hey, if you having problems with the chat, you let me know. If you can't, weird. All right. I'm about to wrap this joint up right now. We're going to get this popping. I'm going to make sure that you can hear me on every channel when I get popping. Right about now. All right, cool. Make sure y'all can hear me. Can you hear me? Yeah, I bet you can. Oh, yeah. I bet you can. I bet you can hear your boy. All right, cool. I'm going to go out of here. Man, thanks for coming in. This is Leon Duncan with the Real Estate Lunchbox. Guys, I work a full-time job when I do this also. I am still a real estate agent. I am still an investor. I am still in the business. And I still got Amazon pulling up on my house when I'm actually doing stuff like this. And you still about to hear the dogs go wild, boy. You still about to hear them go wild. Boy, boy, boy. So I'm going to get this situation because when I start this, I don't want to stop it. Cool. All right. Shoot, I can't stop it. That dude is about to run up in here anyway. He about to. I can't do anything about that. Man, my Kanye Corso sounds like he just, bro. That boy be on. He on 10, like he about to go on 15 right now. Watch. You gonna hear him. That Joker about to go on 15 right now. The Joker about to go on 15. 10. 9, 8. Oh shoot! There it is at the door. Ooh. Pen up. Peered up. Peed up. Had to learn it on the way, yo. Right now. Away. We ain't gonna sell our soul. Nah. He made a way where there ain't no way, yo. Hey. Your boy is back. Now I got a lot of stuff to talk about today. I got a lot of good stuff we got to talk about. But first, we got to talk about getting your mind right. Now, my wife sent this to me. Shout out to my baby boo. 20 years in. I love you, baby. I thought this was bananas. So I want to actually start off with this right here.
I'm sorry that I have to say this out loud, but it's the damnest truth. When you're dealing with people who only can think along the lines of the language of the poor, they sound like this. Oh my God, life is so hard. What's so hard about it? Oh, financially, it's just so hard to survive. Yeah, I hear you. What exactly is hard to survive? Well, I don't get paid enough. I don't have enough money to spend. I don't have this. I don't have that. Every time you talk to them, it is a total drain. It's a psychological drain. And here's the thing. A lot of these people that have nothing, they're takers. Not only do they have nothing, they also are takers. They'll take. Because they have nothing, they will take from you. They'll take money, they'll take time, they'll take pity, they'll take effort, they'll take your energy. They're like psychic vampires. They want to drag you into that sob story. So what happens if you're friends with people that speak like this? You eventually become their emotional crutch. We've all experienced this. We might have been that person at some point in our lives. At some point, you realize that's not a way to be. It's not right. It's not right. What you're doing to people is not right. In Chinese, we call it emotional trauma dumping, like trash, right? You're dumping your trauma trash onto someone else. And that's what a lot of these people do. They think that everyone they talk to is their therapist, and they feel fully entitled to take time from your day, take your positive energy, bring you down. Because listen here, energy is passed around. When you hang around with people that talk like that, they have a lack of abundance. All they can think about is how they have it the worst. God forbid you try to get a little sympathy. Nah, they need all the attention. They're going to say, well, no, your problems, minimize. My problems, they're the worst. It's almost like they get a cookie or some sort of star for being the biggest loser. It's really weird. And you know the weirdest thing is too, when you're dealing with this type of person, they can say all the worst things about themselves. I'm ugly, I'm uneducated, I don't have the resources, I don't know anything. But if you said that to them, you're ugly, you're under-resourced, you don't have a lot of intelligence, that's why you're not successful. If you mirrored what they just said to you about why they're in a bad situation, they get hella offended. That is the funniest shit ever. Like, they can say the most fucked up shit about themselves. Like, I'm ugly. That's why I can't get any girls. I'm short. That's why nobody likes me.
We all got somebody like this in our life. And what you don't understand is that they're draining your energies. They're draining your energy, man. They're draining your energy. They're taking your energy from you. They're demanding so much from you, and they don't give you nothing. They don't give you nothing. They don't give you nothing. They always got a problem. They always got what? They always a victim. Oh, Trump did it to me. Oh, the Republicans did it to me. Oh, yeah. Always got a, my mama. That's the reason. My mama was the my mama did that to me. It was my mama's fault. Oh, my daddy, I grew up without a daddy. That's the reason why. You know, I don't feel like crap today. I seen it. And don't you dare talk about yourself. If you talk about yourself, you're breaking the carnal rule. It's all about me.
You know, I'm just not interesting enough. I don't know. And then God forbid you tell them, yeah, you're short and you're ugly. They'd be like, oh my God, that's the meanest thing ever. It's like so weird. It is the weirdest dichotomy I have ever seen in my life, is the victimhood sufferers. They love to be the biggest victim, but God forbid you point it out. You become the ultimate bad guy.
The ultimate bad guy. And that is a fact. Because victim mentality wants to ask you, what are you talking about? We not victims. Don't you know we've been slaves since back in the day? Don't you know my great-great-great-great-grandpappy was a slave? Don't you know? Don't you know, Leon, that the man trying to keep us down? I'm saying, the white man, he trying to keep us down. Thank you very much. I mean, that's what I see. That's what I be. Hold on. Some clowns be jumping on there. Hey. You tell them, man, we need to stop protesting. What you think about those guys killing in Chicago? You don't say nothing about the people in Chicago. I said stuff about the people in Chicago. I said stuff about the YNs shooting in Chicago. You ain't talking about them now. The best way to be successful in life is to work on your mental life. That's it. Your mental life is the best way to be successful in life. Because right now, I did a post and it was, I believe it's true. I've seen it. I've seen a lot of depressed people, suicidal people, godly, oppressed people over the last year, 2 years, 3 years. It's just been getting more and more momentum. People depressed, man. Their job ain't paying them enough, or they gotta find money somewhere, or shoot, they don't get none. That's male and female. They don't get none. That's male and female. They don't get none. Yeah, you have to separate yourself from those people with the negative mindsets, because if you do not do that, you will end up looking like them very soon. And I didn't ask myself this question when I first started real estate, even my midterm in real estate. Am I around the type of people that I actually want to look like? Those people that I was hanging around, I'm like, when I think about it now, I'm like, Nah, I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want to look nothing like homie. Nope. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You never hang around the people you don't want to look like. You hang around the people you want to look like. You hang around them. And that language of the poor, listen, it is facts. It is facts. It is facts. It is facts. And you can decide you don't want nothing to do with it. You can say, hey, this Negro on the screen right now, he crazy. What the heck he talking about? What the heck he talking about? That dude's stupid. Yo, shoot, I'm 20 years married, bro. And my wife, she love me, be fixing food for me. I be sitting down there. She be like, baby, I got food for you. I look at the plate like, dang. Thank you, boo. Thank you. Because when you change that mental life, when you change whatever you got going on mentally, when you bring yourself out of that pit, when you decide that what God said is true, all of these works are finished, and your boy, well, I'm just here so people know that God is real, that they can see the glory of God through me and through what I do and all those different things. But some people want to fight it. And the thing about victim mentality, it comes and creeps up on you, and you don't even know that you exercise the victim mentality. I did it too. Like it was a time I didn't even know. What you mean I'm being down? What you mean I'm negative? Man, I had a dude in the church I was going to one time. He said, man, he said, yo, bro, why you always look mean? Now you talking to a cat. I came from Philly. We look mean because we gotta survive on the streets. That's why I look mean. Because I gotta survive on the streets. I got to do what I got to do as a dude from Philly. There was people chasing me, and there was people I was chasing. There were things that were happening to me, and there was things I was making happen to others. But it's always a mean mentality. Always and you know that makes that over time that starts to create a depressed type of mentality, and it does so much negative things, so many negative things for your mindset. And when people talk about it, we wonder why you still at the place that you were before. You're still there and you're struggling to get out, because the most investment you can make is into your mental health, into taking care of your mind every day, your spirit every day, your heart every day, putting life into you, pushing out the death that wants to suffocate you, getting away from the people that want to destroy you. Imagine if you lived in a world, in another country, a country that if you opened your mouth to express how you felt, they would say, oh my God, listen, he thinking too clear. We need to get him out of here. That's when that's a bad situation to be in. That's a very bad situation. A shout out, man. I before I even get this rolling, I didn't do any stories on Iran, but I do want to say to the people of Iran, we are praying for you. I saw some of them actually putting out signs about Donald Trump and videos like, yo, Trump, come and save us. I'm sorry, he can't. I think he's bringing a big tanker, like a fleet down there, but I don't know. Is he really going to get rid of Iran? I don't know. Who knows, man? Who knows? At the end of the day, we have to appreciate where we're at, where we are at, what God has blessed us with and given us, and the opportunity now to make the best of it and better it. Not everybody is supposed to live within our borders. I said I wasn't going to jump on this so hard. Not everybody's supposed to live within our borders. And so for that reason, this is a gift. This is a grace. Treat it like one. Remember that. And if you're in the city of Atlanta, I saw a couple of these pictures. If you're in the city of Atlanta, if you're in this Atlanta metropolitan area, I'm going to tell you, sis, the way you find the good men, first, I started off with the very first clip. You get your mind right. You get your mind in order. You get your mind going the way it need to be going. You get away from all those chicken heads that, like Michelle said, the chicken heads, they chase me down. You get away from all the chicken heads. Get away from the chicken heads. You want to know where all the men at? I'm going to tell you where.
So I'm leaving Target and I just had this thought like, wow, it's just so many beautiful, educated black women in Atlanta. Like, what the heck am I doing here? Like, the pickings are too wide. It's not enough men out here. Like, no wonder why I'm single, because there's literally so many women. They could have a different, these men or women, whatever you like. I like men. So these men could literally have a different bed, a different nice woman every day. Like
Don't cover it up. A different baddie every day. Yes, some of them do.
a good girl. Like, which states are the men in? Where y'all at? Where? Black men, brown men, shit, white men, blue men.
She said, I don't care. I'll take you. Long as you love me, I'll take you, baby. Long as you love me. Long as you.
Atlanta is the one place that you'll come and you'll find a whole slew of successful, beautiful black women that's single. Single. Millionaires. Got money, beautiful, businesses, single. You know why? There are no men here in Atlanta for the women.
Wow.
Most of them like men, and there's nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but I want to be real.
Skeet. Most of them don't like men. That's the misconception. Most of them don't like men. The good ones are married. The ones that are about to get married, they good. They engaged. Hopefully they not dipping in every pot and dipping in every bowl that's out there. But it ain't like that. It's just that some of y'all don't want the men that you gotta actually grow with. Y'all want them to be prepackaged and ready to go.
Oh no.
Yeah. Y'all want them to be ready to go. And when you want something ready to go, like a fast food restaurant, you just pull up at the fast food at the window and you just be like, hey, give me a man, medium well, put some lettuce, tomatoes, onions on it. No. And they just drop it in your car. No, it don't work like that, sis. And I'm telling you from a vet, this is my 20th year. We not the same we was 20 years ago when we first got together. Some of y'all ain't ready to grow with these men.
Realistic with you before you decide to come here and thinking that, yeah, I'm gonna go to Atlanta, I'm gonna find the love of my life. It's not gonna happen here. This is not the place for love.
And so what this lady is saying echoes the sentiments of a greater issue, and that's that we're on a moral collapse in our country. She sees nothing wrong with, the whole homosexual lifestyle, but I think that's part of the problem. You can't endorse that kind of lifestyle and say, hey, no issue, no problem, but then complain that there's not enough men.
That's right. Y'all women can't be hanging out with your homosexual boys and then wonder why there ain't no men. First of all, you hanging around with the thing that's not going to attract them. And when you do attract them with the sisters, you got to realize you attracted them. Stop acting, wondering why these men rolling up to y'all like that. I don't know why. Why do y'all do that? Leave a comment. Tell me why. I don't know.
You got somebody stay with them. But I cracked the code.
What's the code?
You gotta import your niggas if you live in Atlanta.
Oh.
You have to import them. Or you gotta come with it. But you can't
Come with
him.
one.
Come with one. Oh,
Move to Atlanta with a guy.
Didn't we have a skeet? Do not move to Atlanta with some man or just a man. And if you're even married to your man, I know it because I've already dealt with couples before that came to Atlanta, married together, wanted 2 kids. 6 months later, 12 months later, I tell people this is real down here. This is no real. This is so real. When you go around and you see how many women are out here in Atlanta, they just be walking. You see them when you pumping the gas. You see them when you in the grocery store. Don't be messing around driving down past University Avenue or anywhere on the south side of AUC. You a rap. It's a rap for you, homie. It's a rap, bro. It's a rap. And I'm just telling you word. Because it's a rap. It's a rap. Do not get in these special conversations where you got this work wife. Stop that crap. In Atlanta, you will get taken out. It would not be fun. I'm telling you, it would not be fun.
Guest on the show last year where she said there's three there's only 3 men to date in Atlanta.
One's gay, one's married, and what's the other one? Oh, is that not what you meant? That's
No.
oh.
Jesse.
Jesse.
Yep.
Was it Jesse?
Yeah, it was Jesse.
No. Was it Jesse?
Well, what was
Yes.
the 3 things that they said?
Well, she
'Cause
said-
I
She
was
said
clear with-
Africans. It
Yeah,
was
she was-
Africans.
No, the Africans
She was
left.
like, I
They
feel
went
like
to Texas.
everyone's
That's
dating the
old.
same
That's-
African.
Oh, no, we don't got that no more. The Africans got up out of here because y'all made it hot and all them songs and all y'all men was hating on Instagram. Oh, y'all in the clubs with the Africans. They got up out of here on us. They dipped. They relocated to Texas. The rich Africans ain't here no more. We got
So the Africans left Atlanta and moved to Texas?
Yes. Y'all laugh.
Nah, not all of them. If you go to Buford Highway, they got a bunch of African clubs out there too. You go to Buford Highway, any of those spots over there, it's a lot of Africans. College Park, you got some Africans down there. The problem is, I keep saying, you guys aren't ready. I don't know why y'all want these African men. I don't get it. Come on, leave me a comment and tell me why y'all want these African men. The level of respect, ability to cook, clean, and certain faculties. You saw what happened with Portia. These African men don't play. They don't play. I'm telling you, like I know. I grew up in a house with them. I grew up family in the city with them. They don't play the same that y'all play. They don't play the same. They're the one of the ones I keep saying, some of them, not all of them, but a good amount of them. They ain't ready to play by these Western rules that y'all got. Some of us, we love living here. We die and we sacrifice for this country. This is our country. But if some of them, they passing through. They not ready for that. I'm telling you, I don't know why y'all do it.
All right. You think this is funny.
What part of Texas did they move to?
I don't know, but they ain't here no more. We don't got the rich ones no more. The one.
They here. They just
Y'all want to know what I really dislike? I really dislike mean girls. Like, you know, when
okay. Why is she talking about mean girls in this? I get why. See, women, y'all got to realize the reason why sometimes y'all don't have men is because y'all got a lot of hating women around y'all. And this is real talk. I'm telling you, 19 years? This is my 20th year of being married. I didn't been around the friends, the cousins, the relatives, just the strangers from work walking by. The reason why some of y'all struggle with getting these fine men is because you connect yourself with women, one, that don't want you to succeed. If you got a man, they don't want you keep it. They feel like, why should you keep a man? I don't got a man. It's some weird shit. But it is. It's selfishness, is the I mentality. You got to get away from them. You think I was hanging around with Negroes when I found my wife? No, hell no. I was not. Because I ain't trusting them. I still don't even trust half those Negroes. Or not even half. 95% of them Negroes out there. Y'all know who they are. I don't trust them. I don't trust y'all. Okay, let's be specific. I don't trust y'all if y'all watching this in replay. If I'm cutting up this video, y'all, I don't trust y'all. And y'all know who you are. Y'all secretly on my YouTube page, secretly on my Instagram, all these different things. Don't trust them. Same thing with that for y'all women. Not everybody has the best intentions. Not all of them want to see y'all succeed.
because the commonality that they have is an unliking of somebody else. You know, the ones that got to bully somebody just to try to feel better about themselves. See, I can't stand a mean girl. And see, you got so many grown women now who are very much mean girls. They don't see themselves as such because they always feel like their actions are justified. But let me be clear about this. You got some females who would much rather be mean to women rather than be a girl's girl and actually see other women win, because of the simple fact they have too many insecurities within themselves to actually want another woman in their circle or around them to actually win too.
It's a fact. I see it. My wife told me the other day, is a friend she cut off. She said, hey, one reason I cut her off is because I saw the way she was acting at the Christmas party. I saw the way she was looking at you. Oh, what the hell? But she saw it, and it's true. Like, I didn't see it. I wasn't sitting back thinking about it. She obviously wasn't, and she saw it. She picked it up. Now, imagine this. You're in a city where the male population is so low already. So low already. And you're trying to attract the right mate. But your girlfriend, who probably don't even look as good as you, this is the truth. Some of y'all travel with these women that don't even live up to the caliber of your beauty, girl. I'm telling you. You traveling with the ones that don't enhance the show. Meaning, I'm going to look at her and look at her and look at her, and I see you, and I'm like, damn, how do I get past those 3 linebackers to get to you? Men think, we thinking.
See, I done got to the point now where I have peeped game. I've peeped certain behaviors because now I understand that everybody ain't always going to be happy for you, but it's the ones who always loud and, the ones that always want to have all of these women events and act like they're really girls, but really and truly they want to capitalize off of, having women events. Baby, you're a mean girl. You don't really like women like that. The only reason why you like women is because you know that women, with great hearts are going to crave certain friendships and certain relationships. And you prey on that. Some of y'all got to start paying attention. Because just because a certain environment feels inviting, don't always mean that you're invited, baby. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but Atlanta is bad for that. Atlanta got so many women who claim they're girls, but really and truly they don't want to see you win. Baby, they want to see you lose and they want to see you down bad only because they don't want nobody to be ahead of them. I said what I said.
Ooh, and she ain't lying too. She ain't lying at all. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. Ooh, this is not a lie. This is so true. I go out with my wife and I see it at the right places, at certain places. Where the men at? Only way you're going to really meet some of these guys, you go to cigar spots, cigar lounges, like fraternity events that they throwing at a cigar spot. Then you're going to meet a bunch of guys. But outside of that, you go to the club. It's like all these women, when me and my wife go and hang out, all these women and no men or no real men that's going to approach them. I don't know, man. Hey, tell me what you think about it. And while you're at it right now, like, subscribe, follow. I'm moving on to the next one. All right. So, real estate lunchbox. I would be remiss to not even talk about. Well, you know what? Let's skip this one real quick. We're gonna come back to this one because this one is too freaking funny. Too freaking funny. All right. So, one of the reasons I was actually, I think I was sitting down yesterday hanging out with my brother. Well, no, not that time. He texted me. My brother texted me on this one. And he sent me this video. And after I watched this, I'm going to tell you, hands down, this system is going to turn investors, little mom and pop investors, into BlackRock level investors. Like, this AI tool that came out is going to revolutionize how real estate is done. And I am nervous for some of these agents that don't catch up and keep up, because the technology that's knowing AI is not even necessary. It is a requirement right now. We're in that phase of transition. And I keep saying this is that phase where AI is very similar to the internet when it came into your house. First time you had a computer, this is the same thing with AI. Meaning it was so much stuff that was built on the back of computers, and there's going to be so much stuff built on the back of AI. But the moral of this story is, if you do not use AI, you will be deceived by AI. And I got a bunch of ways to prove it to you. But let's start by talking about this real estate tool.
Happen, but this was
all right. So I'm jumping into it right here. So just to give you perspective, this is property play. You see already, CNBC. Realai.com. I had no idea what realai.com was. I didn't know about the CEO. I didn't know about the invention. I didn't know any of this. And when he sent it to me, dude, I have not stopped running statistical analysis. I have not stopped pulling up information. This is so different than anything that we've ever encountered, and it's changing, I would say, the way that real estate is done. And I want to get right to how to describe it.
Learned from that experience and why you moved from crowdfunding into more traditional types of funds.
To invent this idea of raising money on the internet for real estate, we went to the SEC. We took the deal as too risky, and so we moved to a fund model, and we started raising money for funds like BREIT, kind of similar to BREIT before BREIT existed. I always wanted to be the Blackstone of the internet.
Remember that.
And model. Now we have, $700 million loan from J.P. Morgan, a $400 million loan from Goldman Sachs. So you always want to find the next thing to do. And so 2 or 3 years
I watched the whole thing, so I'm trying to get right to that point.
Years ago, we started working on building a real estate AI product, and the whole goal was, how do you replace a human worker with artificial intelligence? And we spent 3 years doing that, and it's happening in real estate. It's going to happen in every sector. And so the product we've built, which we're rolling out today, is our exclusive launch. It's called Realai, realai.com, and it does the work of a real estate analyst.
And it's for anyone.
Anyone can log in. Anybody can use it. It's you're talking about bringing, I think, some of the most sophisticated analysis data to anybody everywhere.
And what exactly is this going to do for me? I mean, I sign on. It's going to analyze properties. It's going to help me invest if I have the money to invest, or decide where I want to invest into one of your funds. But on a basic level, I assume there's some kind of charge for this. You got to be making money, right?
Well, it's free for the first dozen or so uses, and then we have a standard plan that's only.
So let me give you perspective, a little bit more perspective. Right now in real estate, whenever you're looking for a deal, when you're trying to gather information, realtors have actually been gatekeepers for a lot of that information coming from the MLS. And on the back end of most of these real estate MLSs, you have companies like CoreLogic, which provides information, data. So you're able to find out what homes sold recently, and even down to the neighborhood, what the schools are graded at, what are the schools in the area. So you're able to see that through the back end of most of these MLSs. Now, we're in Georgia. We've got First MLS. Where I'm at in Atlanta, we got First MLS, and we got Georgia MLS. And these, it's crazy, are the 2 MLSs just for the one city of Georgia, okay, and the surrounding area. Insane, crazy. But we have it, and this is what we got, right? So when you get this information and you go in and you're doing analysis for a fix and flip for an investor, or you're trying to find out if this is the best place for him to actually buy in, and you may believe, but he asks you some questions like, what are the crime stats in that area, or other things like that. Historically, we would have to go through multiple pieces, put the information together, and present it in a way that the investor, the buyer, or even the seller understood. So it was left to us to break that information down. And in breaking it down, our hope was that we were able now to either show them it was a good deal or it was a bad deal. Realai.com changes all of that. So if you're an investor, an agent, or you're trying to even get into real estate, or let's say, for example, you're trying to sell real estate, this is why I say this is the BlackRock tool for small investors, even real estate agents. It doesn't matter.
Like $50 a month, $60 a month, and it sort of goes up from
So
there.
like ChatGPT or something like
right,
that.
Right.
But then when you talk about what it can do for me like that, how is it any different from ChatGPT?
So I sometimes call it ChatGPT for real estate, but it's very different because it's something new. This is something, when we spent a lot of time building it, I hadn't seen anybody doing this. So typically with AI, you're using AI to reason, do research, do sort of thinking for you. But what we did is we went out and built a database of now 3.5 trillion data points of all the real estate knowledge you would want.
What is that knowledge?
So that's every property in America, we actually put in something really new, which every person in America, people data, which I want to talk about that. We have 10, 11 million units. We track them every day. So the goal is to create a huge amount of sort of background facts that you can then use as infrastructure for the AI that does the reasoning. So, for example, if you go in and ask ChatGPT, what rents should I charge at this apartment building? Let's say 111 Main Street. It's not going to know because it doesn't track rents like we do. We track every rent in every unit in every building for apartments in the nation. And so Real AI can tell you, here's what every one of your competitors are charging, here's how long it takes to lease a unit, how long it's been vacant, what the leasing efficiency is, what the leasing velocity is. We've done all this modeling. So that's basically really new.
And so other companies like, say, JLL, which have large AI platforms built out that do some of the similar type of stuff, you have to be a client or you have to be an employee of that company in order to use it. You can't just be the common person.
Right. Anybody can go to realai.com. And I think that if I'm talking to real estate people, everybody needs to, because if you are not adopting AI today, you're going to be made obsolete. Your career's at risk, your company's at risk. This is the biggest change in my lifetime, probably the biggest change in anybody's lifetime. There's a lot of questions about how big it's going to be. I think we need to move past that, and we got to get to, okay, it's big, what am I going to do about it?
And you're going to lose if you're not in it.
I mean, it's going to affect you whether you like it or not.
All right, let's bring this down to a street level, okay? Because I want to be able to show exactly what it does. So let's say I want to invest in a multifamily apartment building somewhere in the South. I want it to be in maybe an up-and-coming neighborhood. I don't want it to be super pricey. I don't have a ton of money, but I want to see good returns. I want medium risk. I'm asking Real AI, where do I invest? What building do I buy? What street?
Yeah, you're really good at this prompting here. So the thing is, we have every property, every market, every person in America, and we can talk about the people data because it's really interesting. So
did you get what he said? They have every property, every market, every piece of real estate in America. Now look how they tier it.
You could ask Real AI, okay, I want alpha. I want to generate
what's alpha? I want
to have great returns. I want to generate returns that are above market.
And I want to invest in the South.
And I want to invest in, you're saying the South, so you might start with asking, where's the fastest growing markets? So one of the things Real AI has that's new that nobody else has is we track every person in America, so we know who's moving and where they're moving to. So we'll say, okay, well, 150,000 people moved to this area. Their average age was 42 years old.
They're able to track your U-Haul car rentals. And they do it. They probably do it by also utility activations. So we were able to do that in the security side when we knew a house, somebody moved into a house. You can tell, even from their name, the back end of the system would actually provide the name of the person who recently turned on utilities, water, electrical, or even gas. So we were able to solicit them for either current alarm systems or future alarm systems. They're taking that information and they're tiering that on already the data that agents already have on the back end. Agents don't have access to that. We don't know when a house is moved. Most agents, depending on the municipality, they don't know that a house sold until they actually look in the tax records and it shows that it's changed addresses. So until it showed that it changed addresses, we don't even know that it's sold. They're tiering all of this public information on top of the data that we already get as real estate agents.
Leaving were 37 years old, their average median income. You have real-time data about who's moving and where they're moving down to the city block. So you can really get smart of the where question based on all the movement of people in America.
So I'm putting in where is the fastest growing market in addition. So my prompt is I want to invest in the South, I want to invest in multifamily, medium risk,
right.
High return, fast growing market. What else do I put in my prompt?
Right, and then after that.
So if you're watching this, listen, we're talking about realai.com, which is, I think, the next, not even the level for anyone looking to get into real estate an agent, if you're an investor, if you already buy properties, if you're trying to scale to be property, it doesn't matter. I asked this system a couple questions about the markets I deal in. My question was simple. How do I get a 10% cap rate? What's one of the fastest growing counties in Georgia? Tell me what the top 2 fastest growing counties are and the best fit for multifamily homes if I want to buy. It gave me everything. Information that it would normally take anybody doing an analysis on real estate, and they're trying to buy or they're trying to help someone or whatever the case may be. It would take hours to gather this. I got this in minutes.
Once you figure out where, you figure out what. And so because we're tracking every property, every unit in America, you can say where are the units that are mispriced. If you have a building where you have a rent that's $2,000 a month and everybody living there making $200,000 a year, right? That rent's probably under market. Because you have all the people data, which is really, I think, for the first time.
What is the people data?
Yes, let's talk about that. So, if you're on Facebook, Instagram, Google, and you're talking to your husband in your case, and maybe you look at it and Instagram shows you an ad, and uncannily, it's exactly what you're talking about.
Of course,
right?
Been there.
How did they
Been
know?
There, bought that.
Yeah. How do they know? So what's happening is the internet actually has a ton of data about people, cookies, your spending on your credit card, all sorts of stuff is actually available to the big hedge funds, to the big tech. It's never been available.
It's all legal.
It's all legal. They're all using it, but it's never been brought into real estate. So we brought in data about everything. Let's say what you're spending. Do you have an iPhone? Do you go on Reddit? Do you like to eat at a Greek restaurant?
Oh, what you spending? You guys don't understand how crazy that is. Before now, we could not tell what people were spending in a certain area in real estate, even with agents and all the tools they had available. So how can we target this area and truly know that this is a high income area and this is what they buy? Do they have multiple homes coming out of that neighborhood? Like, do the owners have multiple homes? This is so many tiers to this, I'm telling you.
I mean, what's your FICO score? What's your income? What's your wealth?
So
all that
you can
data.
say who's living in this building, and it'll say the median income. It'll say how educated they are. It'll say something about their credit. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like an interesting fact is like you can look at a building. I have this theory that buildings that are majority women actually will end up being a better asset to own.
Well, of course.
Yeah, so you can look at gender. You can
I
look
didn't
at age.
need AI to tell me that.
Yeah, right. I mean, so you can actually now
building with more women. You guys got a lot more work to do. So I've seen women hiring work guys to come in because they're trying to actually keep up with all of that.
Bring people data into the decision, because one of the big challenges for real estate the last few years is you'd buy a property and the tenants there'd be a lot of tenant fraud. This is the type of stuff that I've talked to some of the big asset managers, Blackstone, Angelo Gordon, TPG. Some of them have dedicated machine learning teams. Most people do not. Our team is at least as good, if not better than theirs, and it's available to every person in America.
So, great. Sounds fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be able to pick my building in 5 seconds. There's got to be mistakes, right? There's always mistakes in AI. How do you guard against mistakes? What makes me know that this is really true and good data?
Mm-hmm.
And finally, you talked about Facebook and some of the places where you get your people data. You get property records, obviously, from public records, but there's a lot more to it. Where do you get this data? Very basically, where do you get it, and how do I know it's good data?
Yeah, so you're asking two different questions. The first, people are used to AI making mistakes. And so what we've done is we've split the facts from the reasoning. AI, which is like, everybody's familiar with OpenAI, Anthropic, is really good at thinking about things. But when you want to have it go get facts, the same way when you think about something, you say, okay, when did this property sell and how much did it sell? You go on the internet, you find maybe on Zillow, you maybe go on CoreLogic, you find a table that's got the sales price and the date.
I can go to the census, I can get all that.
That is a fact, and that's basically a cell in a table in a database. That's how facts are gotten by people or AI, with real AI, and that's how we get facts. That's why it's facts, not theory. With AI, normally it's a probabilistic. It basically it looks at what's likely rather than what is. So we've combined sort of the power of the reasoning of AI with like the sort of traditional database structure where you get facts, and that's how we do it. The second question is where we get our data. I mean, we get our data from everywhere. I mean, there's data brokers. You can get data from. I mean, obviously we model the census. There's so many places you can get data. It is such an interesting thing that real estate people. I went to one of the biggest data sellers. There's all these big companies that sell data, and they said to me, "It's funny. I sell my data every major hedge fund, and I've only had one real estate company ever buy data from me."
Wow.
And I was like, "Who's that?" Blackstone.
That's why I say this is the Blackstone. This evens out the playing field for private investors, people that want to get into the business. Even if you want to study real estate, you just want to know, man, down the line, a year from now, I'm going to target this area. Realai.com that's the tool I'm using, period. And I work with acquisitions, I work with dispositions, I work with investors, with portfolios. I literally, when I found this out yesterday, I reached out to some of my key investors and I said, pick this up. Go ahead and add this in. You don't have to become a professional in it. I will use it and break it and break it and break it and put it back together and break it. But you should know what it is and actually how to call upon it. Now, some agents, this is going to mess up agents, because when we say agents, property managers, who else? Even real estate attorneys, doesn't matter. When we say AI is taking over, AI is not going to put you out of your job. The people who know how to use tools like this will put you out of your job. They'll do it really fast. Never in history have we been able to take personal data coming from as deep down as FICO scores and come up with stacked information that gives us some type of reasonable result. I mean, you're closer to getting the answer. And even now when we talk about it, and I am a believer in it, and I keep saying it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. The market is shifting. We're going into we're in a buyer's market, no longer a seller's market. And if I was a buyer and I wanted to buy, and I wanted to know 5 years I bought it from now, will it project? What's the projected appreciation in it, or what is the possibility that I have higher appreciation based on the current climate or even future climate changes, or pivoting and saying, hey, for a marginal, if I'm going to say there's a potential that down the line this and this can happen, how will it affect this area? There's never been a tool like this, and I've used ChatGPT, I've used Gemini, I've used it to do property analysis on things, and I thought I was doing something great. No, this is a different level of game.
I was going to say, of course. All right, so let's say this works. Let's say this just is revolutionary in the marketplace for the individual regular investor out there. How does it change the marketplace? How does it change how the big institutional firms work? And how does it change what we see in the future of real estate investing?
Yeah, I think there's three big changes. First, I have had some beta customers, and they were telling me, one of the guys I work with, are friends with, is Chris Rising from Rising Realty. He said he was going to hire a dozen real estate analysts, and now, because of Real AI, he's probably going to hire half as many. So it's a huge saving, but it's also a big impact on the way the workforce works. That's one. So that's been happening. Two is that another one of my friends, Christina Linden, who was at BlackRock and also Angela Gordon, she's launched her own platform. She said, I used to be at these huge institutions. I had all this infrastructure. Real AI basically provides that for me at 1,000th of the cost. And then lastly, it drives. Simon Ziff is another one of our sort of beta customers, and Simon said the speed of due diligence, the deal-making speed, is now going to accelerate because of AI.
And the deal-making speed that's the key right there. So when we're out and I'm looking for houses for an investor of mine, or a group, or just buying for the company, when I look at it, if I am sitting down looking at a house, the people walk me through it, I said, I'm going to bring you an offer. I got to get back home if I'm out there in the field, do the breakdown on what the values could be. I mean, I have a sense going into it what everything looks like, But this tool now makes it in collapse time. So we can bid and beat anyone else out faster. We can get to the offers and get the offer out there faster than some of the other people. This is a game changer. It is not the same. People will look at this, I believe, and probably think that this is, this is just a normal thing. This is what happens. It's just another piece of technology. I'm going to tell you it's not. All right. All right. Looky. I found hooky. All right. So, being in a real estate business, I had to do this one because we see a lot of crazy stuff in real estate. A whole lot of crazy mess. And it's hard for me to express to people some of the crazy things that I've seen probably over the last 20 years in the business. So, some of these videos cover it. All right, let's go.
Let me tell you a crazy and creepy real estate story. We bought our house a few years back during a small housing crisis. We bought it from a single guy in a similar age range as us. He just lost his well-paying job and needed to downsize his life to adjust to his now lower income. Maybe we should have asked why he lost his job, but honestly, we didn't care. We were just so excited to finally move into a home of our own, especially after living in apartments for so long. We were a small family. It was me, my husband, our 2 children, and a cat. I love cats, but maybe things would have been different if we had a dog. At first, things seemed pretty normal. There would be weird noises on occasion, unexpected occurrences. The energy bills were strangely high, and the water usage was more than we expected. We just chalked it up to it being a new house and our general unfamiliarity. For a few years, that was our new normal. Then one day we noticed the guy we had bought the house from hanging around in the neighborhood, which we thought was definitely weird, but what was super weird about that is definitely weird.
Hold on. I'm going to run this back real quick. Did you hear what she just said?
Definitely weird, but what was super weird about that is that he fled when we tried to strike up a conversation. Things started feeling really weird again, and for a few years, that was our new normal. Then
for a few years, that was their new normal. So they had been in that house for a few years.
We noticed the guy we had bought the house from hanging around in the neighborhood, which we thought was definitely weird, but what was super weird about that is that he fled when we tried to strike up a conversation. Things started feeling really weird again, and we started paying more attention to the strange noises, high water, and high energy usage. What we did is we asked the energy company to send out an inspector to find out where the power was going. And he was able to trace our wires and find a juncture leading off to who knows where on the property. After that, we had a survey done on our property to find out where exactly the wires were going, and we found a hidden underground bunker. The guy who sold us the house was still living on the property in this underground bunker, stealing our power, water. He had hidden cameras in most of the rooms in the house. And according to him, it was so he could time his arrivals and departures so that we wouldn't see him leaving the bunker. But
wow. This is crazy. This is probably one of the top 10. This is definitely my top 5, I would say. Because I sold a house that had a bunker and it was hidden in the floor before, so I can feel I can get it. But I'm trying to figure out, how did you not know through your utility bill that it was like slightly higher? I don't know. Water too?
Pretty sure he was just creeping on all of us. And thankfully, the judge agreed with us. After all of that, he was arrested for this, but we also sold the house and moved the heck out of there. We were very careful while choosing the new owner, and we explained the bunker to the new owner. We explained how we changed the locks. We also made sure that the new owner knew the day the old owner was expected to be released from prison. Thankfully, the newest owner thought the bunker was pretty cool, and he told us he was going to turn it into his gamer bunker, which, awesome. We wished him the best of luck on that. During the selling process, we refused to sell to families with children or to single women for fear of what the old owner might do when he got out of prison. What would you have done in this situation?
Wow.
Did you?
Wow, that's a good one. That's probably in my top 5 right now. That's in my top 5. And it's only in my top 5 because I've actually sold a bunker before. sold a house that had a bunker below before, so that's definitely in my top 5.
No, that it is illegal. In fact, it is a felony to throw away cremated remains if you find them. Yeah, me neither. Want to know how I found out? I had buyers. We closed on a property. First time buying a home. Wife is pregnant. We do the final walkthrough, and the seller has left a bunch of crap in the house, including a purple velvet couch and many boxes, in one of which, at the very bottom, covered by a bunch of crap, clothes and whatnot, is an urn filled with ashes. So my buyers call me and they say, hey, so we found ashes in one of these boxes and we don't know what to do with that. And I said, me either. Let me call the listing agent and see what the seller says. So I reach out to the listing agent, who is equally like, oh, okay. Let me reach out to the seller and see what they say. Calls me back and he says, the seller said they can throw them away. Like, honey, what did you do to somebody in this life that they are like, throw those ashes away? So my buyers are like, we don't feel right about doing that. That feels like a really wrong thing to do. And I said, I totally understand, but I don't know what to offer here. I don't even know where to direct you guys.
Is that like the same thing of like throwing somebody away? No, just joking. I mean, at the very least, I think you should go and like sprinkle the ashes like in the nearest lake or river body, or I don't know, maybe what would you do with the ashes? Leave a comment.
So they reach out to a local funeral home who pulls up the records based on the last name of the seller and realizes that there's another living sibling who is the brother of the seller. So they reach out to the brother, and the brother says, that's my dad. That's my dad, and me and my dad have a strained relationship with my brother, the seller, and he has kept those from me, and I would like them back. I mean, strained relationship is probably putting it lightly, don't you think? Anyways, buyers somehow meet up with the brother, deliver dad's remains. Brother is super grateful, and all is well. The moral of the story is, if you ever buy a house and you find cremated remains, do not throw them out. Call the local funeral home. And that is the craziest shit that I have ever learned from being in real estate.
Okay, craziest.
I would say that's probably my top 15. I would say top 15. I can only imagine what people in real estate go through. This is definitely a crazy one. That is probably in the top 15. No lie, Danny. That's like in the top 15. That's insane. That's insane. I've never seen that. I mean, siblings, you can have beef with your siblings and be upset, but throwing away your dad? Never seen that before.
Story yet. We had a house that was supposed to close today, and I get a call back from the title company saying there's title issues. So I spent time with the attorney just trying to figure out how to solve these title issues, and then the kicker came. Our person that was working with the seller talks to the seller, and the seller says, I don't want to talk to an attorney. I'm going to tell you what happened. This seller moved into a vacant house 10 years ago. 10 years ago. moved in. Nobody said anything. So he forged a deed, notarized it himself, went to the county record, deed into his name, and started paying taxes and utilities and paying everything on it, and just act like he lived there. And he was trying to sell the house, and the title company says something's not right here.
And this is the craziest part. He did this for 10 years. That means the person who actually owned the property, they either had died, they left, something happened. For you to sit in a house, squat for 10 years and switch the deed and the title over, oh my gosh. How do you forget real estate? How do you forget you own a house? I don't get that. Like, how do you? Maybe you just got money. Like,
and then the guy comes clean. Tell me that's not insane. Don't get any ideas out there. That's not a good business move for everybody here. Tell me that's not insane. Oh my gosh. Hey, post some things of some of the things that you've heard or seen happen. That's crazy. And also hit the follow button. And if there's any questions or topics you want to talk about dealing with real estate, post in the comments section. Go kill it. Live uncommon.
ooh, that is bananas.
Okay, so I just went to show what I thought was a vacant house. And me and my client, who's my girlfriend, pull up. It's a waterfront house, cute neighborhood. And the door's open. And I'm like, that's really weird. So my friend was the listing agent. So I call my friend and I'm like, hey, the door's open and it's like propped up by a bag and there's a truck outside. It's supposed to be vacant. And he's like, well, I think it's a worker. Like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. They're probably like just doing some work on the house. So I'm like, okay. So we go in. There's a guy that looks like vagrant-ish, literally sitting on the couch watching TV. And I'm like, that's odd. I was like, oh, sorry. My friend's the listing agent. He told me this was vacant. Like, we're coming in for a showing. So the guy grabs his cigarettes, grabs his stuff, and literally like runs out the door and drives away. Thought that was super odd. We open the fridge. It's full of food. We look at the bathroom and it's very clear that someone just showered there and there's a towel there. So I call my friend and guess what? It was a squatter.
I had a client very interested in older.
That is so, I think that's more prevalent in Atlanta. I mean, have you seen these stories in DC where they had the DC squatter? Atlanta is ridiculous for this, man. DeKalb County, Clayton County. If that house is sitting for a period of time, if it's sitting too long, I'm telling you, you're going to get squatters. That's why I don't put up signs in none of my listings. Simply because you will get squatters. I'm telling you. Remember that. Don't let nobody tell you anything different. But that's probably in my top 25 because I've dealt with squatter situations before.
Homes. He was like, it needs to be built in the 1970s, 1980s. It has more character. And I'm like, perfect. So we go look at this home. It has everything he wants. We go into the master and it's dark in the master. I open the door to the master closet and there's a voodoo doll in the closet just staring at us. There's nothing else in that room but that voodoo doll. And we're like, oh, okay. We go into inspection. The voodoo doll's still there. We don't touch it. So I'm texting the agent, hey, there's a doll. There's some stuff they left behind that still hasn't been removed. And she's like, okay, I'll be sure to let them know. And I'm like, okay, they're going to remove it, right? I'm like, specifically that closet. There's something in there they should take with them. And she's like, yeah, I'll let them know. We go and get the keys and we walk it after closing and that voodoo doll is still there just staring at us. So my client's like, I don't know if I want to live here. You have to. You just closed on the house. And after closing, that voodoo doll was the only thing left behind. So thankfully, I checked in with the client, and he has a happily ever after. No voodoo activity at that house.
Okay, craziest story on my part. We bought a duplex, me and my business partner. We kept it for about a year. Money went up. Great deal. Ended up selling it. 3 years later, the lady we bought it from, who bought it from another lady, her nephew shows up and says, hey, my aunt never sold that house to that other lady. That lady took it from my aunt. And then commenced to take us to court. And you know what I did? I called the title company. And they took them to court because we had sold it. So they need to deal with the people that we sold it to, not with us. But the crazy part about it, everything he said was fake. Everything. Yeah. Real estate is crazy, bro. You got to have that mind where you like, man, You just never know what you're going to get hit with that day. You just never know. And that's crazy, but you never do know. All right, cool. So, yeah, man, we went over to AI, that new move. Oh, man, listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. This is a key, and this is just for everyone. If you're a millennial, if you got kids that are millennials, okay, I don't care. The biggest wealth transfer, which nobody's talking about with all this chaos going on right now, the biggest wealth transfer is coming up. This is going to be bigger than 2008. It's going to be bigger than the baby boomers who came in. And to me, the saddest part is that when the market's in a depression, as this transfer takes place, all I'm seeing is more and more people selling their stuff. So I'm going to tell you, don't sell your stuff. Try the best that you can. If you got a mom, an aunt, a cousin, someone that's out there, and for whatever reason you inherit the property or you have say in it, tell them not to sell it, because just like inventory right now is scarce, or in some areas you got less buyers and really scarce inventory, it's gonna only get worse.
America is set for a massive wealth transfer in the next decade or so, and it's expected to shake up the high-end property market. Gen X and millennials will inherit trillions of dollars in real estate as older Americans begin passing down decades of accumulated wealth. New research shows luxury homes will play a huge role in that shift, with much of the money tied up in real estate. So
Hey, Danny, the link for real estate, it's not a link. The company is realestatelai.com. Realestateai is the company.com. That's the analyze that they do the AI feature that allows you to analyze real estate deals. Yes, but real estate, rock technology. The world was changing. Yeah, and they're going to tokenize real estate. I mean, I've got a buddy who created a loan program, and he's been trying to get it off the ground for the last 20 years, probably 18 years. And the momentum is behind him right now, just the conditions of it. But the biggest thing is to tokenize real estate and to put it on a blockchain. I did a video on that before. Go back and go through my catalog and look at it, because tokenized real estate will actually prevent a lot of the things like people changing over your title and you don't even know that your title's been changed over. They can't do it when it's on a blockchain. It's harder, no way to actually do it. You could track it. But all these things are tearing up. When you have AI coming into play, then you adding on a blockchain, then you talk about tokenization. We're going into a different phase right now, and I don't think a lot of realtors, real estate agents, or even professionals, real estate professionals, are ready for it. I think the real estate investors are more ready for it, like the guys who are boots on the ground, going from house to house, talking to people, trying to make offers on deals. I mean, I got to say, if I look back at 2008, real estate agents didn't catch up to what they were doing till years later. It's always been this old, stinking thinking, traditional thinking when it came to real estate agents. Yeah, to real estate agents. And for that particular reason, they're always behind. Always behind. So when that blockchain and all of that comes into play, man, and it's doing it now, you're going to have a lot of people losing their job. I think it's going to be less real estate agents, honestly. I really do.
often talk about how the housing market feels stuck right now and ways that you can mobilize it a little bit to give younger Americans who want a piece of what they consider to be the American dream an opportunity to be able to get in. We also talk about the baby boomers. They're working longer. They are accumulating more wealth. They're sitting on a lot of real estate. They are, in many cases, the ones that are not moving out, not downsizing to kind of.
Oh, yeah. And if you go to the description in the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, I've got a link there for off-market real estate deals. We find them, we sell them, we send them to people all the time. So go there, fill out the information. Never get shared with anybody, just your basic info, and then we'll be sending you those deals as they come in.
Open up the inventory. So when these kids inherit the real estate markets from their folks, are they going to keep it? Are they going to sell it? Does this unlock anything?
Do they have a job that's going to be able to afford the property taxes and the maintenance? Probably not. That means a lot of that's going to flood into the market. There's going to be available properties that are way out of people's bounds. Then what happens? I think ultimately these kids are going to liquidate things just to get cash out of it, to live the life they want to live, whether it's being a nomad or living in an apartment. I don't know.
See, this is a benefit that the baby boomers had.
And
a benefit,
pay a mansion tax.
Right. Of a timing was on their side with respect to the market. They were able to purchase real estate items when, you could see the equity value double. Because real estate was moving so quickly. Now prices are very elevated. They're sort of staying there. This is not the kind of market where you're going to buy something and say, hey, I'm just going to flip it, or if I change my mind in 2 years, because in many cases people lose money on their property. So these boomers really are sitting, Brian, in some ways on, not to parody the commercial, but a gold mine. It's a great commercial.
That is true.
They're sitting on a gold mine.
I am going to cede my time on this to Dagan. I just want to say,
Why?
Because I haven't thought about this, but I go to car shows a lot in the summertime, and there are a lot of really nice muscle cars at these car shows that I'd love to own. And I'm realizing it's the same dynamic.
Boomers.
These guys love these cars. They're great cars. The valuations right now are huge, and the next generation's not either going to be able to handle them or want them
or care.
And it's kind of the same dynamic. But Dagan's hotter on the house issue than I am.
So you just raised
this. I don't 100% agree with him. And then I'm going to tell you why. Because me and my wife, we're in the vintage clothing business also. So we do vintage clothes, vintage items, like vintage novelties. You'll be amazed at how much the vintage resale side has exploded. And I think when Trump turned around and hit those tariffs on companies like Shein and some of them coming into the country, it just blew up even more. Vintage went out of the door. I mean, I bought a vintage long sleeve Cobra Commander shirt, not for me, but to resell. And since I bought it, I think I paid probably $30 for it. The thing is valued at $225. That's it. And I haven't even put it back online. And I'm put it online, and I'm probably gonna turn around and do it with the Cobra Commander sign, all those great things. First time on the channel. Thanks for jumping on the channel. Thanks, Danny, for jumping on the channel. You can find me on YouTube, Real Estate Lunchbox, and definitely follow me right here on Facebook too. But it changed it. So I kind of feel when we look at it, vintage, things like that are older era, that has that nostalgia, that nostalgic kind of feel, they think it won't, but I don't quite believe that. Because when I see teenagers, like even my kids, man, they rocking 80s stuff. They were my daughter had a Nirvana t-shirt. And I'm like, where you get that Nirvana t-shirt from? What do you know about Nirvana? But they got it. And so it's certain things that they like and that they prize that they'll keep. But it's certain things, not everything old do we keep. I mean, that's true. But to say that it's going to completely go away because they're going to want to live nomads, I think that's a general statement. Not from what I'm seeing and not what the market's saying right now when it comes to resale. Because the resale market, just like with clothing, just like with houses, with clothing, they have a tracker on it. They track these. Companies are coming out right now that specialize in doing nothing but finding old clothes. Nothing but finding old clothes. Yeah, it's always been around, and it's not going anywhere. I think when you have shows like what's the name of them? Stranger Things and stuff like that, it just inspires more of that vintage pursuit. Like they just want to add vintage stuff. I was at a estate sale, and this is where we find a lot of our vintage stuff. Our motto is either we buy the house or we buy everything in the house. Sometimes, of course, can't buy the house, but sometimes we can get a lot of the stuff that's in the house. And but we were at this estate sale, and this dude, man, shoot, he beat me to this 1996 Atlanta Olympic bag. And I messed around and saw his behind in the gym. Okay, my wife was like, that's that same Olympic bag? Yeah, I was like, it is. And the kid was only like 20. He looked like 19, 20. He looked like 19, 20. But yeah, it's not going anywhere.
is the issue of, I will equate a large, expensive home to a muscle car. Take your pick. Pontiac GTO?
Love them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my mother drove one. Truth.
Sweet.
It's the liability of ownership. Mm-hmm. It's the taxes, not just the property taxes, it's the insurance on it, but it's the maintenance of these homes. So a lot of it is, I'm talking about, do you sit on it or do you sell it? Mm-hmm. Because we're talking about inheriting trillions in real estate wealth over the next decade. I'm thinking of supply that's going to be hitting the market because
that's what I was thinking.
Right. But it also, this also triggered the Thomas Piketty theory. He's the French economist about wealth concentration and how inequality increases, that wealth grows faster than incomes and inflation, et cetera. This hits on, if you've got an indebted nation, how are you going to capture more and more taxes? Because all of this real estate gets a step up in cost basis when someone dies, up to our current estate tax exemption for a couple is $30 million. And you mark my words, the next, like, Democrats, they were going to start looking at, we talked about the mansion tax in LA, but looking at lowering that exemption for estate taxes, but also how do you capture the wealth of these homes being passed on.
Right.
And it's that step up in basis. It's like you don't pay any capital gains taxes on inheriting these homes up to.
Yeah, I don't think they do a great job when it comes to securing assets that go from one generation to the next. If anything, the government just has too much hands in your pocket. We need to have less hands in your pocket concerning that, man, because if they can't protect that transition, only thing that we're going to end up seeing is a breakdown in that money going from one generation to the next. And I think that will be the worst thing that has ever happened in our generation, because wealth can't be transferred to my heirs without it being taxed, and being taxed at an extreme amount, at normal amount. As long as that continues to happen, it'll chip away at the wealth that's there. Now, simultaneously, there's two things that's happening, and we forget about this. It's not just the wealth transfer of hard assets. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a book. I keep plugging this book in every now and then when I have these conversations. Fake by Robert Kiyosaki. Some people hate Robert Kiyosaki. I'm not saying I like everything Robert Kiyosaki says or does, but he did do two things. He got me investing in hard assets, gold, silver, and you see how gold is going up. You see how silver went up, shooting through the roof. Yes, baby.
Congratulations. Well done.
But also knowing that, and he got smart enough to know this, I got it, these digital assets that we're creating, like me sitting down talking to you right now, after I'm done with this, we're done. I'm going to chop this up into bits and pieces, and I'm going to put it out there on YouTube. It's going to be on my channel, Real Estate Lunchbox. If you're listening, please like, subscribe, and follow. You're definitely able to buy me some coffee with a super chat too. But I'm going to put it out there, and that asset now becomes a digital asset. It's going to get stored away. Okay. We make these videos. Some of them never go anywhere, but some of them run up to 100,000, 35,000, 37,000, all those views. And when you're in the back of YouTube, you can actually see how much each video makes you. As long as being tied to that, whatever digital products that you have, it changes now the way that we build wealth, because these digital products cross lines. And what I loved about Bitcoin, which I kept telling people, Bitcoin made it where I don't have to be concerned with something happening and toting out a bunch of gold and silver. I'm coming down the street, I'm crossing the border, trying to get out of here, or whatever the case may be, with a bunch of gold and silver. I can put it all on my my Trezor, and go, with my seed phrase. So just like they're talking about hard assets and all of that, I think we're not getting rid of the asset concept, but it's harder. It's going to be harder to tax assets when you start talking about digital assets, because it's out there in numbers and X's and O's, and you can't run up on it and just tax it and say you're selling it, so I'm going to get it. Unlike Bitcoin. And some of these cryptocurrencies. Yeah. This whole industry is going to change in real estate. The blockchain technology is going to make it safer and make it right. Excited for what's about to happen. And I'm excited too. When I do these videos, I am sharing with people, and I'm consistently going to talk about it. Yeah, great products for crypto, for your crypto. Yeah, when I am going to talk about it, I'm going to continue sharing it because I spent a lot of time as an agent growing a business, and I missed the biggest steps for some of those times. And I know I'm a believer. God is already quickening and collapse times for me. And hey, man, you need to get plugged into me. You know, I wasn't as plugged in there. So I know what's going on. But man, if agents don't get there, if investors don't get there, if we don't start looking at now that we are a personal brand, and under our personal brand, we're building assets under our personal brand, whether it's hard assets or digital assets. It's coming from our creativity, it's coming from our thought, it's coming from the thing that God puts into our spirit that we're able to drop out there and create, and people will want it. Now, it'd be great for a season, and it may not stay, but then I've seen stuff go away and then come back, and it's insane. Like I saw people making PDF books, digital books coming off of Chat GPT and making a killing. So I'm a believer that this is the time to do it. You should never be like, I'm a real estate agent. I got insurance people. I have my insurance line. I'm an insurance guy. I know people doing mortgage. I'm a mortgage guy. No, you're a brand, and under your brand, you do real estate. You might do mortgages. You might do insurances, but you do those things, and you're a brand. And anything that comes out of you, whether it's the content concerning that service that you offer, you need to make it digital, digitize it, and present it to people that want it. There's a shame that has been in the industry when it comes to selling your digital products or offering those digital products to people. We have people that shame people all the time. And I say it's not. You should never be ashamed about creating wealth, creating money, taking something that you learned, that God taught you, and giving it and offering it to people. You cover more grounds. We can do this and sell it in all 50 states, all over the world, and it's amazing. But when we get that shame out and stop looking at this as something that's just stupid, a fad that's going to pass away, then now we can really get down to actually start building some real wealth, making some real money in this shift. Because this reminds me, just like when my dad boarded that computer into the house, set it up, and my brother, man, I tell you, them doggone Emory grads. Shout out to my brother. I love you, bro. He just ran to it. He adapted, got it, locked in. 4 years younger than me. I was still running the streets, doing all those different things. But when I locked into that, then I started to see it. So we cannot be slow in locking in right now with crypto, and then also with AI. We cannot be slow.
Why is everyone saying that TikTok is dying? I've seen like 300 videos of creators complaining about how TikTok's been ruined since Oracle bought it. They don't pay anybody anymore, all this stuff. And sure, you might be right about that, but all these creators are missing the real problem, and they're just complaining about nothing. You're pointing the finger at the wrong thing. This isn't TikTok's fault. The entire problem here is that all you creators who are so pissed about this built your business on rented land. Would you build your dream house on land you didn't own? No, that's exactly what all these people have done with TikTok. And all these creators who are complaining are the ones that built their brand on a platform that can change the rules, the algorithm, the payment structure overnight. And this is exactly what I've been screaming at people for over 2 years. You have to own your audience. Your followers are not your followers. They are TikTok's users that they are lending to you. The platform's just letting you borrow these followers until they don't. And this is why I've been telling people not to put all their eggs in one basket. And many of these people who are complaining put all their eggs into TikTok, and now it's biting them in the ass. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, should never be your primary source of income. You should be using them as top of funnel and driving them to some other offer. Like for me, I have 2 softwares, the Content Labs and Pre-Algo. Both of these things, rain or shine, TikTok or no TikTok, are something that I own. The platform can't take it away from me. And if you're someone who is complaining about this, rightfully so, I understand your frustration. This is a problem of yours. It's not TikTok's fault.
Facts. When I say digital assets, I mean it. TikTok, as of the 20th, we're doing this right now. What's today? The 28th. As of the 22nd. Excuse me. The way that money's made on TikTok has definitely changed. I've seen so many creators talk about it. I've looked at my algorithm. The thing that I'm so fortunate that I learned, and I got to share it with you guys. going back to the brand, the personal brand. These are outlets. When we say top of funnel is just nothing more than something that connects us to people. The first part that we use to grab their attention. For example, my brother Danny jumps on here, first time hearing it. Thank you for jumping on, Danny. Top of funnel. Never met Danny before. Danny just met me, top of funnel. Danny subscribes. Danny turns around and he hears the rest of my content. After he hears my content, if Danny wants to join the free market list where you get all these off-market deals that we mine for, Danny can get that. That's what he mean by top of funnel. You got top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. When we go top of funnel and we keep the interest of people, we take them to the middle of funnel. Okay, now we're interacting with them. They're seeing our goods, our services. They're seeing what we can offer, things like that. When we go bottom of funnel, that's when we now convert them over to a paid client. That paid client, or that client that I've developed that relationship with, customer, however you want to put it. That customer now came because they came through this top of funnel lead magnet, which is simply live streaming or some of these content videos that we put out in reference to things that we find important or we like talking about. So why are we speaking about that? Because I've seen more creators that don't even have websites. I've seen more creators that don't even have products. I've seen more creators that just make a YouTube video, which is cool. And it's great to stream because I enjoy streaming. I enjoy doing it. It's really, for me, it's dope. Real dope. I mean, I grew this channel, actively grew this channel in the last 60 days, simply because I streamed every day for the last, not every day, 3 times out the week, for the last 60 days at least. Going from about 100, I think I had 115 subscribers. Now we're at 180 subscribers and we're pushing towards 111 and we're going to run it up. Okay. These things now bring people into the funnel. And now I keep looking. I say no platform. You cannot trust any of these platforms and say that this is it and I'm here forever with this. That's why the season, and this is another theory, this is one thing I do believe may just possibly happen. They're going to charge pretty soon for some of these platforms. You already see they got the blue badge, right? Blue tag. You got to pay to get it. There can be a place where they start charging for certain access to tools. X is starting it. Elon Musk is playing around with it. There's certain things for X that you can pay for to get. Yeah, you can use the free stuff, but can you grow a audience on that free side? You got to ask yourself that question. Some people can, some people won't. But taking your audience not so much off of the platform, but in a way it is taking them off the platform. Let me take that back. It is taking them off the platform. Okay. But they still keep coming back to that platform to hear more of your content. That's where we need to be as creators. That's where it is.
TikTok is dead and I want to talk about it. I think that TikTok had their funeral. Now, this is like a big conspiracy theory that I have, so sit down and buckle up if you want to hear it. So TikTok originally started as like a music platform where they were lip singing and dances and all of this, and then has transformed over the 5 or 6 years, where it's become this like amazing platform with new information, people are being educated, recipes are being shared, our lives are being shared, all of these things, right? And then they give their Video of the Year award out to lip singing, which great. I mean, I think it's a great video. I think she's very pretty, but I do think that was the funeral. I really do. I do think TikTok, they came out and said like, hey, we're not really going to be paying creators anymore. So here's your 2 cents for videos. I have 1 million views on a video and I got paid 2 cents. Great. I love that for me. But I'm just saying, like, I am not putting my time here anymore because there's other platforms, they want to pay you. They want to say, hey, thanks for giving us people to come watch your content, and we want to reward you for that. And that's where I want to be because I'm not doing this for free, okay? It's side hustle, and I enjoy it, so everybody stop trying to get your 10,000 followers and meet all the requirements because you'll get paid 2 cents for 1 million views, and I think obviously that means TikTok's dead. I think that means they don't want us here anymore. I think that's them saying goodbye. So I just wanted to warn you that maybe you should be putting your time and effort and energy into other platforms. Don't shoot the messenger.
TikTok ain't paying no money no more.
I told my wife the same thing. I said, yeah, you making these get ready videos. Those are great. You need to go take those get ready videos and put them on your YouTube page. And when she did that, she went from like 15 followers to 109, just doing what she normally does, getting ready in the morning and just dropping the video into her YouTube side. Now, if I can get her to do long form content, the world would be a better place.
Congratulations, well done.
I don't know. She's working on it, but it's got to be diversified over these platforms.
So I got a quick question on a lot of y'all who like really going hard to build these platforms on here. What you doing it for? Do you just want to go viral? You just want to be known? You just want people to know your name? Because for me personally, when I first got on this app, it was about me getting my message out there, me speaking my truth. But I got met with so much backlash. I got met with so much anger and hate just for telling my truth that before I decided to continue to stay, they started paying a lot more money. And it made sense that if I have to deal with these ignorant people who going to get on my nerves when I get on this app, at least I'm being compensated, right? Like at least I'm getting money for it. But at this point in the game, I done said everything that needed to be said. And the type of money that TikTok paying for these views, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it to be putting out all of that content for pennies on the dollar. They paying like they used to pay when I first started this app. Pennies on the dollar. Like, I don't know what that is. But Instagram been sending me some offers that's looking real tempting to go back over there. So I don't know. I mean, like, I ain't gonna leave the app, but as far as putting out a bunch of content.
Thanks, Danny.
If Instagram paying the way they saying they gonna pay me, I'm going over there.
Instagram doesn't have the bag. The bag is not with the gram. I'm telling you. IG, I don't even post on IG as much because I know it has to be like a watered down effect. And I'm gonna tell you the game plan because, and I'm gonna share this with you. So y'all gonna watch this in replay. I'm gonna tell you the game plan. I'm probably going to do just a small course, very inexpensive, for somebody to grab. Because when I discovered this and I saw it, I'm the type of person, I can't sit on this, man. I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm not the type that, oh, I know something, I don't share it. I share it with people. Now, do people share stuff with me that I know? That's a completely different story, okay? They really don't. But God has been blessing me. And the blessing is on my life, okay? And I can share it. Because there is a way to scale your channel, your YouTube channel, from zero or bring a YouTube channel that's dead back alive, and I've done it already. So I want to share that with everybody. And I'm going to put that out there. But at the end of the day, when I was looking at doing this, I saw that Instagram does not pay like some of you people think it pays. So I'm like, why are you posting on the gram? It should be a rainfall, meaning it should go from your long form content down to your short form content. And when it hits your short form content, then guess what? It can go now in different image ratio forms to Instagram, to TikTok, to where Twitter, wherever you want to put it at. But it starts long form to short form. A lot of people still don't get that, and they struggle with trying to do hard with long form because long form is hard. Even me sitting out here talking to you, I had to put a bunch of stories together. I had to touch stuff that would actually turn around and make some of y'all like, I ain't listening to that Negro no more. And then I got to put stuff in there too that, people be like, hey, I like this. Let me listen to it because I got to make it round. The key is being a Renaissance man. That's the key. But at the end of the day, I'm only speaking about things that I know, love, and I have a passion for. That's it. Let's run it.
TikTok's not paying anymore, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Less than a year ago, I was making about $1.29 per 1,000 views. Now I'm making anywhere from 28 cents to 40 cents per 1,000 views. And my content structure, rollout, none of it's really changed. There was a guy who just came out and said that he's making only 1 cent per 1,000 views. And he's got over 15 million followers, and he does millions.
That probably could be the problem. His content structure never changed. I think that could be the biggest problem because your content structure, when you see it slowing down with this, it's got to change.
Of views per video. Just back in August, I made $5,000 in August just on TikTok. 5,000. Now I'm barely averaging anywhere from $300 to $400 a month. And I think I know what the problem is. I genuinely think that it's the AI content creators, the AI accounts on here that are clip farming and mining other creators' actual content and work and then repurposing it across dozens of channels. And they are mining money off of the RPM and rewards program from TikTok. And the algorithm's finally just gone, okay, well, then no one is going to get paid. I think that's what's.
That's an assumption. I believe the reason why this TikTok setup is done is, I hate to say you guys, it was bought by Oracle, bought by an American-based company. They just don't want to pay you as much as the Chinese ones did. Okay, so it doesn't sound right. I'm sorry, but it is the truth. It's just the truth, and that's sad too. Now, as far as in creators mining other creators' information, I'm gonna always tell you the subscribers' information is right down there. If you look at it, you can the content the content creators' information is right down there if you look at it, because I like to always give respect to the content creators. I like to say it so you can look in the video, you see, like, you did good. But are they mining that? I don't know. I haven't seen AI hit that hard. And I'm about to get into AI on this next piece right here too, because AI, when it comes to content, some things are actually changing, and we got to know.
Happen because I've seen the apparently Instagram stop paying on a creator fund in like 2023, but they're not even inviting people into the pay program anymore because they had a pay program they would at least invite you into. And Facebook just changed its whole structure on pay too. Now no one's making money on Facebook. YouTube, I never thought I'd say this in 2026, having to go to YouTube probably here just to actually start remonetizing, and even then, like, they're flagging people left and right on YouTube. It's a sinking ship, and I don't know if we should stay on it or just keep using TikTok at least to build our individual platform. I know I'm not the only one this is happening to go from, making $5,000 to barely scratching 400. Yeah, man, I think the app is on its last legs, taking a nosedive.
All right, so this just reiterates what I said earlier. We're dealing with a situation where in the past we've been all used to making ads money. And what is ad money that these guys are getting paid off of? What is ad money that we're getting paid off of? These are ads that are running in between our content, either before, during, at the bottom, when we created that content. That is only one way to make the bag. That is only one way. There's multiple ways to make this bag. And it's going to require people realizing that, waking up to it, and actually doing something about it, like actually doing it. Now, I wanted to cover this story because I don't know if, well, let me put this right here. Ooh. I'm coming up on an hour and 15 minutes on this. I'm gonna take a break real quick. I gotta run over here and grab this and get some more water. And I'm gonna come back and we're gonna cover two more stories. Then we're gonna be out because I gotta talk about this misinformation, man. I gotta talk about this misinformation because AI is doing a double thing. It's actually creating some other issues for people. I'm gonna go grab something. Let me go grab something. I'll be right back. All right, cool. Oh man. All right, so check this out. Content creator. $900 billion deal. Ooh, $900 million deal. I said billion.
And for our final story, he's one of the most famous faces on the internet. And now, without saying a word, Senegal-born social media star Kaby Lame has secured a near $1 billion deal. Known for being the most expressive man on TikTok, Lame has just rocketed into the financial stratosphere. With his viral fame transforming into one of the largest business deals ever seen for an individual creator, this eye-watering $900 million deal has cemented Lame's status as a business titan. The transaction with Rich Sparkle Holdings has granted the company exclusive global rights to his brand for 3 years. Lame will not get the full sum up front, instead receiving a combination of cash and equity.
You know, this is going to change the way that we do this stuff, man, because at the end of the day, AI is going to make it where people like him can be in multiple places at one time. And I keep saying this, the future is your image, your voice, even your image, your voice, are going to be able to be duplicated and put into movies and put into shows and put on skits if you allow it and you sign it off for. That's what I believe is coming to. I believe he's a test on this, and they're normally, and I think it's cool because they're using the largest, probably one of the best content creators that are out there right now, probably next to Mr. Beast. There's a couple other ones, but Mr. Beast does a whole different type of content creation. This is more skits and stuff like that. But they're taking that and they're duplicating him. And that's going to be available to a bunch of people. Think of it as already available right now through creating avatars through programs like HeyGen and some of the other ones. You can create a ton of avatars that will actually say and do those things, and the voices sound just like you. Like 11 Labs is what I use for some of mine, and it just sounds just like me once it's gotten to that point. So opportunities to make money, whether you're just Joe Smo down the street and somebody approaches you to be in a movie or be in a commercial, guess what, Joe? That could end up becoming your career. Why? Because once they get your information, the future is going to, they'll be able to plug it into any of those things if you sign a contract and you just want to get paid. I think they're going to make content creation a lot easier. A lot easier. But it's going to come from platforms, from people that's already creating content. Very rarely will you get somebody that gets stopped on the street and be like, hey, we want to use you. A lot of times it's going to come from creators that are already creating it, and they meet the mold or the image of that particular product that they're trying to brand you with.
This will make him a controlling shareholder in Rich Sparkle Holdings. While the $900 million figure seems huge, projections suggest the partnership could eventually generate $4 billion in annual sales. So the figures involved in this deal are unprecedented for an individual creator. But Kaby Lame will not be alone in his content. That's because AI is a huge part of how the African-born creator's brand will be commercialized. Let's break it down. Rich Sparkle Holdings plans a multi-pronged strategy to monetize Kaby Lame's brand to an industrial scale, and will target the United States, Middle East, and Southeast Asia over the next 3 years. The deal authorizes the development of an AI-powered digital twin of the creator. And this avatar will be capable of a lot. Generating multilingual content, hosting virtual live streams, and enabling 24/7 fan engagement using his voice, likeness, and mannerisms. Away from the content, the strategy includes the launch of co-branded product lines in high-value sectors like clothing, beauty, and fragrance. But this deal is not just groundbreaking because of the money involved. It is being hailed as a revolution in content e-commerce. At $900 million, it sets a benchmark for valuing a creator's personal brand, moving beyond just sponsorship fees. For content,
it goes, I said it before when I was talking back earlier about that other stuff. Personal branding is it, period. That's it. Right now, it's all personal brand, just like you got a commercial company, a LLC or a corporation that has that brand or that trade brand tied to it. Be smart and get on a personal brand bandwagon. like now. Get on that personal brand bandwagon by now. And don't be afraid to actually do it, because personal brand, and I realize this, even with streaming, the fact is, people try to keep their brand so clean in certain types of ways, and they got all these different things. They won't let their brand grow and develop based on the needs of the market. I looked at creators like Anton Daniels and some of the other ones out here. Anton, part of his personal brand is he just doesn't mind controversy. He doesn't mind it. In the past, if you look at real estate agents like me, investors like me, some of us, it's been always that polished image. Like they didn't want controversy. They didn't want to talk about politics. They didn't want to talk about anything else. I do that. That's part of my brand. That's part of it. Part of my brand is not just knowing about content and the thing that you need to make the bag, but it's also, how does this fit into the whole world and what's going on? How can we use what's happening in the world to actually grow our businesses and to not be so polarized by things that happen, but also to use it to actually scale and grow? Because you fit somewhere. You fit somewhere.
Next, Cabby Lane was reported to charge around $750,000 per sponsored post. The African-born creator would need to do 1,200 sponsored posts at that rate to reach the value of this deal over a 3-year period. That's more than a post a day. But who is Cabby Lane, aside from the most followed person on TikTok? And how did his journey shape the now pioneering creator? Well, born Cabby Lane on the 9th of March 2000 in Dakar, Senegal. He moved to Italy with his family when he was 1 year old, living in a public housing complex near Turin. He stayed in Italy until he was 14, and his parents decided to send him back temporarily to study in the country of his birth. Lane worked as a machine operator in a factory back in Italy before.
So to give you context, 160 million followers, subscribers on TikTok. Insane! 160, yo. 160. Oh no. Posts that, of course, when you had 160, you're not seeing anything less than 1 million on some of these posts. But yeah, 160 million. Just doing what he loves to do. So his background story is crazy, and I'm not going to get into all of it. I'll let it play. You can definitely go check out this. It's what's that? Fortune, right? But it's designed to tell you that the way that this thing is changing, AI isn't just changing the way content creators make content, which is very big, but it's drifting, it's bleeding into a lot of different other areas, man. So when I did this, I said I wanted to actually talk about this, and I know y'all don't want to talk. I know some people are not going to want to talk about this. Let's talk about this. All right. I've never been somebody that says, oh, I'm happy that somebody got shot. Never like that. Nobody should die, man. It's not, but we do die, but nobody should die in any type of crazy way. You don't never want to die and your face or your image becomes a meme. That's, I don't know. I don't know if that's great. But AI right now is being used in situations like this by our media and also by the White House. No lie. I know some people don't like to hear it, and I voted for Trump too, but this is a fact. And I'm not saying Trump is out there writing a prompt. Hey, I want him to be darker. No, he's not. He's not writing the prompt. These are the people that are around him. But at the end of the day, we've seen so many different AI videos come out of the White House. Now we're seeing media use AI also to improve the image of people. We're just going to give them a glow, just an extra glow. This is the danger. This is the danger. The danger is if you don't know AI, if you don't use AI, you will not be able to spot AI. And it becomes more and more true the more advanced AI becomes. Your brain, and when I realized this, I was like, oh, damn, this is going to be crazy. Of course, I had my mom sending me a bunch of stuff. Hey, you need to look at this. Why didn't you look at that? Look what they said about him. They wrong. Calm down. What you sent me was fake. Okay? And I've seen it. Like I'm starting to see it more and more. This is just one shot. I actually saw another shot with the police officer when Alice got shot. There was there's a image that's floating around of almost like I wish I would have loaded this to bring in here. I gotta find it. One of the ICE agents actually standing over him with the gun, like pointed at him, like this. And I was like, hold on. I've watched this video over and over and over again. None of this makes sense. That's not what happened. But imagine people who just go to work, because I feel for everybody. You go to work, you come home, damn, you kick off your shoes, you may have to do some stuff around the house, and you may turn on the TV while it's going. You don't really, and while you got your phone, you get alerts here and there, but how many people have time to actually deep dive into some of this stuff? Like to actually get into it and deep dive and move around. Who actually cares a lot of time? Some people don't care about it. But when you don't care, you kind of take the narrative that's given to you and you don't know how to push back or you don't know how to validate it because that's all you got. A lot of people don't have the time to actually dig in and find it. So they turn on channels like this and other channels in order to give some insight. And dude, I'm sad and I'm kind of a little upset about some of this because whether you're talking about the left or your right or the right, it doesn't matter where you sit in this. Both sides are using this and it's being used in propaganda, okay? It's being used to present either a negative image about someone or a positive image about someone. And if you are not tuned into AI, you won't even notice it.
Alex Pretty was a repeat offender impeding ICE investigation and had gotten into a tangle with them just 1 week earlier.
In this earlier incident, he stopped his car after observing ICE agents chasing what he described as a family on foot and began shouting and blowing his whistle.
The official left-wing portrayal of what happened has already come out. And hilariously, the guy wasn't handsome enough, according to MSNBC and other left-wing news. So they used AI to make him more attractive because they know their low IQ viewership will actually care more about the cause. In my opinion, they should have just did a full send and just cranked it up to 11. The left wing having that hill to die on to abolish ICE is the dumbest thing I've ever seen them do. I thought they peaked with Men Could Get Pregnant. Abolish ICE might beat that.
It might beat it. And it's not just the left. I'm telling you, this is going to be probably the most dangerous thing to actually. This is a gift and it's also a curse. I won't say it's a gift and a curse. I would say probably it's the red pill or the blue pill. Who knows? You know? But at the end of the day, you're going to choose. You're going to either post stuff that's AI generated, or you're going to take the time to go to the Twitter. Like this girl posted something I knew in Facebook, and I guess she figured she scored on me. I got you right here. Me, along with the other 4 people that she tagged in there, we casually asked her, did you validate this source? And that's what it's going to come down to. You're going to have to validate the source of the information that you get, because AI is going to and has already started being a tool for propaganda for both sides. Both sides. And I'm telling you, as a conservative, someone who believes in conservative values, someone that I would say I lean probably more towards the Republican side with a little bit of independent in there, and nah. But at the end of the day, man, this is going to be either something that we are able to regulate and observe and identify when it's out of pocket, or it's going to completely make neighbor fight neighbor. I think this is the next one on here that I had put.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. My name is Josh Breslow, and I do want to get you back to the top stories that we are following here. And this is one that we have been tracking since yesterday. Take a look right here at your screen as the White House is now responding after social media users and X itself called out an altered image posted by the Trump administration showing one of the protesters arrested for storming a church service in St. Paul, Minnesota over the weekend. Here's a look at the side-by-side photos of Nikema Levi Armstrong, the first posted by Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem right after the arrest. Now, the one on the right showing Armstrong crying was posted later by the official X account for the White House. Users on X adding a community note to the White House post pointing out that this was digitally altered from the original. Take a look right here as Kaylin Dorr with White House Communications posted in response saying that it's simply a meme. His X post right there on your screen, quote, "Yet again, to the people who feel the need to reflexively defend perpetrators of heinous crimes in our country, I share with you this message. Enforcement of the law will continue. The memes will continue. Thank you for your attention to this matter," end quote. The Department of Homeland.
So did you see that? The memes will continue. So the left is making memes, the right is making memes, the people are caught in the middle, and you got to be able to identify what it is. You have to. There is no way you can go without using tools, not just OpenAI and Gemini, not just to ask it questions, please, but to turn around and to make stuff on it. And that's so foul. It's like some people like, I know people, I don't want to touch AI. I'm so freaking, it's the Antichrist.
Congratulations. Well done.
We just identified the Antichrist. Oh, God. Just with your help. We did it. Woo. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you're still going to have to identify. You're going to have to identify what it is. And your brain has to be trained through use to know what it is. I know for a fact a bunch of real estate agents, investors, people that I know probably didn't even think about taking a prop engineering class. I took multiple prop engineering classes. AWS, Gemini, Google, and several ones in Google. I did it because, for me, I didn't do it because I'm trying to get a job from somebody, which is not a good job. Oh, no. You don't want that. But jobs are good. You want a job. Listen, you need a job. Okay? And right about now, probably some people are going to be looking for more jobs. And if you're going to be looking for it, why not at least get the skills for AI under your belt? So if you're looking for the job, you get a job. You communicate to the new owner or your boss or whoever it is, new company, that you can learn this skill and you can, more importantly, identify when this stuff is used. They're going to keep going with it. They're not stopping.
And security announcing Thursday at least 3 arrests in connection with the storming of City's Church over in St. Paul, Minnesota during their Sunday service. From the get-go, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi made it clear that anyone interrupting a house of worship service would be prosecuted. Bondi posted Thursday, quote, "Listen loud and clear. We do not tolerate attacks on places of worship," adding, quote, "Our nation was settled and founded by people fleeing religious persecution. Religious freedom is the bedrock of this country."
Yeah, and it is. At least it is. Now, while we're doing this, technology's also catching up with this whole deal. So we've got AI, and then we've also got facial recognition for law enforcement. We don't have body cams. There's no body cams for these guys right now. They're starting and trying to actually get them in body cams. Do they want them in body cams? I don't know. Everybody wants to fight and say, oh, they don't want them in body cams because they're going to hide all the notorious stuff, nefarious stuff that they're actually doing. I can't comment on that. But one thing I can definitely say, when you put blockchain, facial recognition, and AI together, it's trouble. It's trouble. The game has changed.
Take your hood off. I'm not taking my hood off. What is your citizenship? In this video from Minnesota, an ICE agent is attempting to scan the face of someone they've stopped to question. The screen of a different agent's phone shows the app they're using. Developed by Homeland Security, it's called Mobile Fortify. You can also see it later, after the person's identity has been verified. CNN reviewed dozens of videos nationwide and found that immigration agents are using facial recognition technology on their phones to figure out an individual's immigration status. In Chicago, this Border Patrol agent's phone screen was captured on his body cam, showing conversations between agents on WhatsApp and sending photos of people they've detained. Got facial recognition? One message reads, "Results aren't good enough to be 100%, an agent writes back.
You don't have no ID?
No.
Can you do facial?
Facial recognition apps let agents snap a picture of anyone's face to find out their identity and any immigration history.
Hey, the famous guy. I've seen this guy on TikTok.
In some videos, Gregory Bavino, a top Border Patrol official, and other officers can be seen filming people with their phones, and in one case, appearing to ask about the results of a facial recognition scan. The Trump administration no longer requires that federal immigration officers wear body cams, but agents are still recording on their cell phones for social media content and documenting their actions as well as that of protesters. Unlike body cam footage, there is no definitive policy on the use of personal cell phones on the field and how to save and submit videos. DHS told CNN that it is working to provide body cameras to agents, calling it a, quote, priority, but it did not specify whether they would be a requirement.
Mobile Fortify is a lawful law enforcement tool developed under the Trump administration to support accurate identity and immigration status verification. When you combine this with AI, now, just like I said in real estate, for law enforcement, the game has changed, completely changed. Now, they're going to be able to take those pictures like they have, and as they improve upon it, be able to look in and see who they're actually speaking with. Guys, I'm not afraid of anything like this because I learned through this whole process that I would rather have safe streets. I'd rather have a place where my kids can actually grow, where they don't have to deal with things like what happened to Lincoln Riley because they're on a college campus and somebody decides they want to infringe upon them and hurt them. So I'm going to leave this last video and we're going to go from there.
Hey, yo, America, understand this. I'm a black man in America, right? I walk around with a 19 on my hip, a SIG in my glove compartment, and an AR-15 in my 2020 Honda Accord daily, right? And you know what I don't do with those things? I don't go and impede law enforcement carrying out their duties. You know what I do? I mind my business. That's all I do. I go out there, I drink water, I get money, and I
Drink water. Drink water, please. Whether it's cold right now, just drink some water, please. It'll keep you from getting hydrated. It just will keep you from getting dehydrated and getting headaches.
mind my business. You know my favorite saying, right? And for some reason, I'm able to survive. Every single day, I'm able to come home, run my kids a bath, tuck them in, and continue to do my thing. No harm comes to me, no harm comes to my family. I also have a 12-gauge pump, away from the kids, of course, because, you know, you got to be a responsible pew-pew owner, okay? And no harm comes to me and my family because I mind my business. I let the law do the law things. If I have beef, I petition my lawmakers. I don't go and take it out on law enforcement who are also citizens and Americans like me. And for some reason, I'm still here. There's a lesson in that.
There's a big lesson, but some people don't want to listen. Some people don't want to listen. They don't see it. They don't see any advantages of it, of following and listening to those lessons. All right. You know, back in the day, we used to say, if you can't hear, my mom would say, you're going to feel.
You cannot show up to a protest with a firearm, with 2 loaded magazines, and not only antagonize federal agents, but impede upon what they're doing, whether you agree with it or not. And then the fact that you didn't know, or he didn't know, that his firearm had been removed. Reach for it after you get pepper sprayed. None of this shit would be happening. Nobody would be losing their lives if you would just leave these people the fuck alone and let them do their job.
That's it. That's it. And people can dislike Trump. Y'all can argue with it. Y'all can say Trump is bad. Trump is this, blah, blah, blah. When you stay out of people's way, you tend to stay alive. Why? Because half of y'all don't got the money to even fight Fed charges. The Fed has a very, very, very deep pocketbook. Okay? Very deep. And especially if you're getting in their way when they try to stop some of the worst of the worst that are here. Now, some of y'all like, hey, no, they're not stopping the worst of the worst. These are innocent people, family, kids, all that. I haven't seen one video yet where they stopped them and they're innocent and they're supposed to be here. They have the right to be here. That they don't let them go within hours, if not minutes, of validating their identity. Fear. The fear is just so out of control right now, man.
You're protecting criminals. They have search warrants signed by a judge to go get certain fucking people. And the people that they're going to get are fucking violent criminals. And you're protecting them by blowing your stupid fucking whistles and all that goofy shit that you're doing. Why? Just why?
I don't know. Man, and I don't understand. And I probably will never understand. You know? When I came up and living in Philly, honestly, yeah, they had the moral of the streets, no snitching, you don't snitch on people, honestly, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think that's the same thing right now. Okay, I really don't think it's the same thing. You're dealing with local police, and then these are feds. Completely different. I don't know if that's the same thing. I'm pretty convinced it's not the same thing. I'm pretty convinced it isn't. Because when brothers band together and say, hey, we staying out of that mug, like we ain't messing with that shit, I think it's smart. When the gangs in Chicago start recognizing that some of these out of the country gangs that got in here are getting the bread, eating off the system, and is using that money to buy firearms, to wage war against them, take their blocks. Oh yeah, I'm not making it up. Go check it out. There's a video on New York Post. They showed it. They even recognized, listen, something's off, something wrong. And now us nerds, regular Joes, we staying out the way. And don't stop and ask me, what about if they stop you? What you gonna do then? What you gonna do? I'm gonna show them my ID. They gonna say I'm a citizen. Then they gonna look at that plaque in my ID and say, Oh, and you serve this country. I said, doggone 18th Airborne Corps, bro. Guys, like, subscribe, follow. I am out. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys on the next stream.